Support for WUWM podcasts comes from Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, home to 24/7 excitement, dining, and an on-site hotel at 1721 West Canal Street. More information at potawatomi.com.
Lake Effect brings you conversations about what's happening in Milwaukee and the people, places, and organizations that shape our community. This is Lake Effect Spotlight from WUWM, Milwaukee's NPR. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, a celebration of the contributions and influence of Hispanic culture in the U.S. and in our communities. WUWM's Jimmy Gutierrez spoke with 3 local leaders working to uplift, support, and create space for Milwaukee's Hispanic and Latine communities.
I don't like that. I see battle ropes. I see what we got, ball slams, renegade rows. That just sounds like it hurts.
Yep, a little bit. That's the essence of it.
This is Donna Gallardo.
Good work, ladies. Keep going.
Donna is the owner of She-Wolf. It's a boxing gym for girls and women in Silver City that opened up just about 1 year ago. And this place kind of feels inevitable because growing up for Donna, first-gen Mexican-American on the south side of Milwaukee, boxing was inescapable.
I was going to the fitness center at the United Community Center with 2 of my friends, 12 years old. I know, so crazy. And once we got done with our cardio, we were walking out and we took the hallway that leads to the gym, to the boxing gym. And I found myself up there and I was just like in awe, like I just felt like there was just so much energy in the room. And I really enjoyed boxing because I grew up watching fights with my dad. Like I would tag along with him when he went to his friend's house and watch the fights on TV. So I was just like, you know what, I'd love to try this. And I came back the next day and it just became like habit.
After 10 years in the sport, competing in regional tournaments, sparring, she needed to take a break from the sport. Then she started going to workout classes, still kept active, but she said she got her passion back working with women in this male-dominated sport.
Tell me about this place and kind of like what the year has been like. And maybe some stuff that you heard from the women that come here.
Yeah. So, a lot of the women and girls that come here have never boxed before. And so it's really cool because they get an opportunity to try it in an environment that is relatively new, and they know that they can be safe and vulnerable, just exposing maybe some of the weaknesses that they perceive as weaknesses. And so after that first class, they're like, wow, I didn't think I could do this, but this is actually very enjoyable, and, they let off a lot of steam. We're all dealing with some trauma and just like the world, right, where it's at. I think a lot of people can use this as an outlet to just relieve themselves from all of the things that are happening around us.
It's nice to punch things sometimes.
It really is, yeah. And I think for me, just seeing the young girls set foot in this place and know that they can become something great, not just through the lens of boxing, but like, wow, I can do hard things, because boxing is hard. Boxing is very technical, and it says a lot about somebody, about the fact that they can keep coming back and repeating the same thing over and over and really achieving a goal, because it's not just like running a race, it's not jumping on a bike, it's not doing like a HIIT session. You really have to put all of your focus in it. And to see the number of times that women say, wow, it's amazing that I can't think of anything else. I shut my brain off and I just tune in to the movement. And that's been beautiful. Yeah.
She-Wolf is on the south side, and she's loved how it served the girls and the women who look like her. And while there are other boxing gyms on the south side, one thing that there are not a ton of are coffee shops. John Reed and his wife, Marisa Lopez, opened Brujas last year on South 13th Street. And it already feels like it's this vital part of the neighborhood. So what is it that makes this place so special?
I think coffee. No, I'm just kidding. So
this is John Reed.
I think it's the welcoming environment that's priority here. I think that everyone that comes in, we want them to know that they're welcome and this is their place. There's always a joke we have within us, like, oh, it's a gathering place, and I laugh at that. but it really is a gathering place. I think that there's a moment when we first started, and you're concerned because it's a new business. And then I remember we were standing here, me and Marisa both, and I said, look, we're a real coffee shop. There were people laughing, working, playing games, watching whatever movie we had on the day, whatever was playing. And it was legit, like almost like you take a step back and look from, an outside lens and saying, oh, dude, this is a real coffee shop. We did it. We created this space for people to come in and just enjoy.
The nice thing is walking into a place like this, we've got like Southside celebrities. Barbara is here from La Revo doing work. Looks like deep in a book. And she had a question for you. She kind of wanted to know, as we were talking about this place and the importance of this place in the Southside, if you can answer her question, what is the point of also having a coffee shop, but also a hub for community, a hub for Latinos in Milwaukee?
Sure. I think if you're going to do something, be genuine, and the word that's overused to me is authentic, but you have to be authentic and genuine doing something, right? And I believe that coming into a neighborhood full of Latinos, right? If you're not bringing your culture, their culture to a space, they're not going to want to be here, and it's not going to seem real. So to answer, I guess, what she said, why it's so important is because we all deserve this. We all deserve a space to go and feel comfortable, to walk in and feel comfortable, especially in the times we're going with everything going on right now. A lot of people walk through here with their head down because they don't want to create any attention, bring any attention to themselves. When they come in here, we want to make sure that they know they're safe, they're welcome, no matter who you are or what you are. In Brujas, we're all family. And I think it's so important to have that space that you can walk in, especially with, again, I go back to everything going on now and everything we're all going through, to walk into somewhere where you can say, man, that felt good. Or, man, this is for us. Or I can see myself in the paintings. I can see myself in the decor. I can see myself in, and just the people there. That's important.
Okay, so we're almost there. Are we finishing today or tomorrow?
Today, yeah.
Okay. So because you guys are almost done, I just wonder if you guys wouldn't mind telling me how you feel about the mural. What do you think you're most proudest of?
This is Shalina Ali.
When I step back, I feel like I'm most proud of the partnership that we've all put in.
Shalina is the co-executive director of True School, basically a Milwaukee institution at this point. But they were commissioned to paint this mural on Chavez Drive, and today her team is putting on the finishing touches.
I mean, working with a group in general, but then working with, 3 women who were all different artists, I think is pretty cool. And to be able to see all of our different attributes and details in here, all of our signature styles, I feel like I can see it. I feel like that's my favorite part because I see Naia in here, I see Jasmine, and I see myself. So I feel like that's my favorite part. And then I am probably a little biased, but I did the sun by myself. So I really love the sun.
All right, this mural is the story of Milwaukee and the story of the South Side, Latine identity and journeys. Shalina says this mural and all of the themes in it came directly from community input. Beauty, immigration, diversity, and even the city's architecture.
And so what you're looking at is our young people, these artists who, Mahala, Jasmine, and Naia, they really sat down and they critically not only talked about the feedback that we got from the community, but the actual history of Milwaukee. And so that's why you see like the 16th Street Bridge, you see an intergenerational symbolism in there. The saying de aquí, de allá, which means from here and there, is traditionally translated as I'm not from here or there. And so those artists actually were like, well, we want to create something where people belong, not represent something where nobody belongs anywhere. The beautiful part of that is the feedback from the community. We were out here on September 13th for Viva Nuestra Herencia, and people were like talking about their goosebumps. They were almost in tears, saying, one woman literally quoted and said, I've never felt so seen in a mural before.
Something, growing up here, maybe you're not aware of like there's not a ton for us to do in the city. You just realize that, like, oh, why am I cruising every weekend? Or, like, why am I, like, in places I probably shouldn't be every weekend? And you don't realize that it's a lack of programming or resources or community engagement or any of these things. But then when you, I don't know, for myself, like, becoming an adult, it became more clear. I'm like, oh, we're not investing in young people. And you have, like, filled that void in very real ways, directly working with young folks and, like, providing that consistency. Do you have a message, I guess, for young folks that haven't yet met you, found you, heard of you, but I don't know, you just want them to maybe have some hope that, like, things will get better. There are people working to engage with them and to give them a roadmap into something else.
Absolutely. You kind of hit the nail on the head because, like, even media like this, we're here, but how many young people don't know about us because we're more focused on the narrative of what's bad about Milwaukee. And, you know, a lot of times that negative light is being shed on the communities that really create the culture in the community. So, yes, we need more places, we need more spaces, we need more resources, and we need more participation in changing the narrative of Milwaukee. You know, what do they say? The thoughts that you have in your head have the biggest influence on your health and your wealth. Well, how is that not the same thing for how we're talking to our community and the way that we're creating the narrative of this city on a very public level?
Shalina Ali, John Reed, and Donna Gallardo, 3 leaders of Latin culture, all going about it in different ways for Milwaukee. For Milwaukee Public Radio, 89.7, I'm Jimmy Gutierrez.
You can find more interviews like this one by visiting WUWM.com/Lake Effect. And while you're there, subscribe to the Lake Effect Spotlight podcast.
Sources and methods, the crown jewels of the intelligence community. Shorthand for how do we know what's real? Who told us? If you have those answers, you're on the inside, and NPR wants to bring you there. From the Pentagon to the State Department to spy agencies, listen to understand what's really happening and what it means for you. Sources and Methods, the new national security podcast from NPR.